It's time once again for the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us. Along with me, Heidi Nelson, Maple Grove City Administrator. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
As you can see, she's got books of information here for us today. And odd show today.
Yes.
We have no council meeting to talk about, but that never stops us. We've got a lot going on in the city. And as we're taping this on the 10th, Maple Grove Days is just a couple days away. So the key here is if you're watching us in one of the early airings, you're going to be able to get in on some of the activities. For those that missed it, well, you know what happened, and hopefully you can catch in next year. So let's begin with talking a little bit about what's coming up. Not only at Maple Grove Days, but kind of a kickoff before it is we've got a concert coming up at the Town Green.
Yep.
Ray Charles Tribute. Tell us a little bit about this group.
Yeah, so this kind of kicks off kind of the music parts of Maple Grove Days. Town Green, Wednesday, July 12th, and this is an evening concert, 7 p.m. It's the Ray Charles Tribute by the Mixed Sterling Group, so I think that's a pretty well-known name here in the metro area. And then this is kind of a tribute to all military veterans and their families. So this kicks off the music and kicks off part of that Maple Grove Days piece at Town Green.
And Town Green, again, the place to be throughout the year, especially the summer season here. A lot of concerts going on. We've got a couple other to mention because it's not just the evening concerts for adults and families, but you've got some kids things and movies as well. Tell us about those.
So Thursday at 11 a.m. We have the Splatter Sisters, and that event is focused on kids. So that's 11 a.m. Thursday. And then Friday night, the Moonlight movie kicks off, and that's the movie Trolls, and that'll be kind of at dusk there. So movie kicking off. I think that's the time of it. We might want to make sure about that. Check the website for that exact time. But those are usually a little bit later towards the evening when the sun starts to go down.
All right, I've heard good things about the Trolls movie.
Yes.
Haven't seen it, so get out there and check it out. You got a big screen to see this on. All right, 2 Maple Grove Days itself then. Great fun happening from the 13th up through the weekend. Tell us about the kickoff on the 13th.
So we have the Maple Grove Days Parade, and this Thursday, July 13th, the political units will kick it off at 6:10 p.m., and then we have the vintage plane flyover at 6:15, and then the remaining parade units will follow at 6:30. The parade unit is along 89th Avenue from Zachary Lane to Elm Creek Boulevard, so kind of ends at Rice Lake, goes all the way back on 89th over towards Forest View Public Works Facility. So line up early. We do ask that folks don't put chairs out prior to the morning of the 13th.
Okay.
I think there can be, you know, early reservations out there, and then just be mindful of the property owners that live along 89th Avenue and try to kind of tuck yourself into that right-of-way area there so that everybody has a space to be. And then just word of, you know, make sure you're paying attention to your kids. These are vehicles going through the parade route, and want to make sure that kids are staying away from running out into the street. And we always encourage the folks that are in the parade to have people handing out candy at the edge of the street so that kids aren't, you know, wanting to run out and grab things, so we can avoid any problems there. So just a couple things to pay attention to as you think about going out to the parade.
Very good. So that is the kickoff event. It is on Thursday, again, the 13th, 6:15, 6:45 time frame. Now let's move to the rest of the weekend. What are some of the other things going on? I know the list is too big to mention all of them, but give us a few highlights.
Yeah, so, and the maplegrovedays.org website is a great place to go to get the schedule and all of the events. But the majority of the activities take place at Town Green, Central Park, the Community Center, and then along Main Street. So kicking it off, there's the Jim Dean Memorial Run at Rice Lake. We have the Maple Grove Ambassador Coronation. That's Friday night up at the Maple Grove Senior High at 7 p.m. There's a fishing clinic at Weaver Lake, and then of course we have the fireworks on Saturday night. And then all day on Saturday at the Community Center, there's the Business Expo inside the Community Center, both up in the banquet facility as well as in the lower level gym. So very busy day at the Community Center, and then all the kids activities, lots of food trucks, that kind of thing. The Lions Corn Feed is there, and all kinds of displays there for families to enjoy. So kind of a full day at the Community Center, kicked and then tapped off with the fireworks later in the evening that night. So
you mentioned a little bit about the parking and getting around the parade. Let's talk about getting around the rest of Maple Grove Days. Any tips on parking, transportation help? What should we do if we're trying to come to the event?
Yeah, so there's parking available at the Maple Grove, at the the facility, the parking facility, the Arbor Lakes Transit facility there.
Got it.
You can park there and take, and then the buses, there's little buses that'll take you around. So again, information on the website, but we do have that bus service available during the day, so you can park over there and then make a day of it, and it'll actually take you from stop to stop throughout the day.
Very efficient. I've been on it a couple times with the camera in my arm to get some footage of it, so you can go from the transit facility to right by Cub in that area to go to the main center there, and also get to Main Street as well. So do take advantage of that. It does make getting around a little bit easier. Weather's supposed to be nice.
Weather is supposed to be nice, and so last year, remember, we had rain the night of the parade, and then we had storms the night of the fireworks. So hoping this year, so far, it's looking pretty good. I also want to mention that the History Center, the Maple Grove History Center, is open on Sunday. They have their open house that afternoon. So that's located up at the Public Works facility right off Forest View there, just north of 89th. So if you are looking for something to do Sunday afternoon, it's great. They do put a lot of work into this. They pull out all kind of the important artifacts about the city. Usually has some sort of theme to it, so really looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, fun event. Again, a lot of that on maplegrovedays.org, so look at that website to find out more. Moving ahead, some other things happening throughout the summer on a regular basis, and one is the farmers market, so we want to give you an update of what happens on a regular basis, but also news about something a little special. So first of all, regular basis of the market, how's it going and where should people go?
Yeah, so at the community center every Thursday afternoon from 3 to 7. This Thursday during Maple Grove Days, the market will be in full swing there. We've been very busy. The market has been extremely busy this year, and we've had great weather. I think there was one afternoon where we had some storms coming through, but in general, it's been wonderful afternoons to be out there, and lots of, I think they're up to maybe around 70 vendors or something. It's been crazy. So it's a lot of variety of products out there. So that outdoor market runs through October 19th, 3 to 7. And then I'm sorry, the hours from 3 to 7 through September, and then 3 to 6 through October. Yes,
okay. A little bit of a change late in the season.
Late in the season. And then we have one special one-time farmers market on Saturday, July 29th, and this is kind of, they're trying to do every year just kind of one neighborhood market. So they're getting out to either a business location. In this situation, they're going to be over at Central Park. So this is kind of that neighborhood market over there, and the hours that day will be from 9 to noon. So again, Saturday, July 29th, neighborhood market. Little fewer vendors that day, just depend on who's available and whatnot, but I think a nice opportunity to have kind of that different weekend experience, and maybe for the neighborhoods in and around Central Park, really a convenient market for them to attend as well.
Good idea, and they have their own website as well, right?
Yes.
maplegrovefarmersmarket.org, I believe, is that site. So look there, or you can go to the city site and link your way through to get more information about that special event coming up on the 29th. A few other things happening in August now as we move ahead to the next month, firefighter recruitment. Tell us a little bit about this ongoing need and the reason people should step forward now.
Yeah, so we are recruiting for part-time paid-on-call firefighters. We had done some open houses earlier in the spring, and now kind of moving through the summertime, looking for applications to come in through August 4th. We provide all the training, and no experience is necessary to be a paid-on-call firefighter. We just are looking for people who are wanting to serve and give back to the community, and that have availability not only during the evenings, but possibly during the day if that's possible. That's always a challenge for us to get daytime firefighters, but if you're not available during the day and only available during the evening, we'd like to hear from you as well. So again, August 4th, applications are due through that time, and information on mgfire.info for more information about the application process.
Very good.
Yep.
One of our favorites to talk about during the summer is National Night Out, and that comes up this year on Tuesday, August 1st is the night of the event. But there's a lot more that happens during the day, as you know, in the city of Maple Grove. But now is the time to really think about it. So give us a little preview. First of all, now, what should we be doing if we want to get our family and our neighborhood involved?
Yeah, so if you, a lot of the neighborhoods have kind of a neighborhood block captain already in place, and they have their neighborhood group established. If you don't have that established and you're interested in doing that for your neighborhood, you can give a call over to the police department and talk with Todd Strigi. He's our crime prevention specialist, and he can help you with that process. If you have that in place and you haven't made plans for your party yet, you're going to want to get in contact with Todd and get that going so that your neighborhood is advised of where the gathering will be and what they need made to do. Earlier in the day on August 1st, the entire community is invited to a big community picnic over at the community center in the parking lot that day. We have all kinds of public safety displays. Hennepin County Sheriff's Office is on hand, our police and fire. Usually the North Memorial helicopter comes out. Sometimes they have the canine dogs from other departments. But it's really a nice event that day. And we have a couple key areas of focus this year that we're working on to get our message out about public safety. And one of the big ones is distracted driving. So through our community survey that we conducted last fall, one of the biggest areas of concern that was identified by our residents was sort of distracted or aggressive driving. And so we're trying to do more education and awareness around this issue. Earlier this summer, there was kind of a big effort on behalf of law enforcement to kind of crack down on, distracted driving and texting and using your phone while you're driving, that kind of thing. So trying to focus on that a little bit. And then we have the theft issues from vehicles and burglary issues from homes. This is, you and I have talked a little bit about this in the past.
Close that garage door.
Yep, open garage doors, cars unlocked, valuables left in vehicles and driveways, that kind of thing. I think it's easy to get complacent. You feel like you live in a safe community, and we do. However, every community is vulnerable to this type of activity as folks come through the community. So we just want to make sure that people are really paying attention to locking those doors, getting the car keys out of the cars, closing those garage doors. The other area of focus, of course, is critical incident response and crisis communications. We've been doing quite a bit of work around this year, along with every other city and law enforcement agency, thinking about how we would respond here in Maple Grove if we would have, for instance, an officer-involved shooting or some other sort of critical incident. What does our response look like, and then how are we going to communicate about that? We'll be doing some training, not only with our staff, but also with the City Council here coming up in September, working with the communications firm on that. So that's kind of another area of key focus for us this year.
So again, a lot of reasons to get involved now, and if you haven't set up your group, talk to whoever is in your neighborhood who is in charge, but also you can call Todd. And again, some of these key points, information will be out related to those that sign up. So get your block signed up right away. Now the next topic is kind of a funny one. I read this and I thought, now wait a second, is it winter already here? But we keep hydrants clear during the summer. Tell me about that, of why that's important. What gets in the way of hydrants?
Well, sometimes grass and shrubs and plants, material, those kinds of things,
just think of that.
They can start to become hidden. And so we want to make sure we do a lot to make that people aware of that during the winter time with snow, and ask people to kind of adopt a hydrant and keep that cleared of snow. But it certainly can become an issue in the summertime as well. So make sure you're paying attention to the hydrant in your neighborhood, and if you can't see it or there's lots of things growing up around it, maybe take the opportunity to trim some of that back to make sure that when our fire staff comes through, they can locate that easily and there's no barriers to them getting to that hydrant.
Yeah, I suppose it gets to the point of landscaping a little bit at times, that you think, oh, I might make my fire hydrant cute and plant things around it, and maybe that is somewhat of a good idea, but not a complete good idea.
No, it's still a utility that we need to be getting access to. So yes.
All right, remember that during the summer as well.
Yes.
All right, let's touch base on a couple other items here. We want to talk about the photo contest. This is something with all that's going on, and especially right before Maple Grove Days. Good word to get out, because there's a few fireworks photos that always happen to show up. So tell us about the photo contest, why people should get involved, and how you use these photos really to help out the city.
Yeah, so the contest is open through July 19th, so you have time through Maple Grove Days to get those pictures in order and get them submitted. You could submit them online, so it's a pretty easy online process via our website, and then you can also vote online for your favorite contest entry. And then there are monetary prizes for all 5 categories of the photo contest. So it's kind of a neat little, and you get some little reward for your work and your effort. But we do use these pictures in all of our communications and publications. We really want to focus on the beauty and the community of Maple Grove when we're out telling that story, whether it's in the newsletter or on the website or social media. So having these pictures come in from the residents who know the most beautiful shots to be taken in Maple Grove, it's just a wonderful a wonderful addition to our communications efforts and telling the story of Maple Grove. So we really encourage people to get out and do that, and especially this next coming week where we have so many fun things going on in town.
All right, get out and get those cameras going.
Yep.
Another item to mention as the summer season rolls along here is the outdoor pool. Give us a little update on how it's going there and
Yep.
how long we can use that pool.
So that's open daily through Labor Day. You can get you have to have a wristband to be at the outdoor pool. You get that inside the community center, and then there's some special rules around children's supervision of that, so you want to be mindful of that if you're taking a bunch of kids over to the pool. And then we also have the Wild Wednesdays, which admission is $5, and then there's a theme with special activities and games every week. But the pool has been incredibly busy, particularly this week with the 4th of July. And we've had some really warm weather, and it looks like that's going to continue, so the pool will continue to be a popular place.
All right, and the indoor pool again right next
Yep.
to us, so if the weather turns bad,
Yeah.
you're still all right there
Yep.
to do some swimming in Maple Grove.
Yes.
Here's a neat opportunity that you might want to get involved in. Again, it comes up in September through December, but now is the time to think about it. And this is the Citizens Police Academy. Give us a little background. What is this academy? Why was it established in the first place?
Yeah, so this is an opportunity for residents to just become more engaged and informed about the work that public safety does in the community, police particularly. So it's an 11-week program that meets each Tuesday evening from 6:30 to 9:30, and they move the location around a bit in town depending on the focus of the event or
Right.
the education piece that night. So it runs, starts September 27th, it runs through December 13th. It's free of charge and offered to Maple Grove residents, students, and business owners. And then it's just really an opportunity to learn more about the law enforcement profession as well as the criminal justice system in Minnesota. So application deadline September 15th. Class size is limited, so and they do fill up kind of quick. So we encourage people to get out and register if that's something that they're interested in doing. So it's a nice event to learn more about.
We'll give you the
This
website
program.
here in just a minute, too,
Yep.
so you can take a look at
Yep.
that and to register for that. Let's talk fashion here. We've got something coming up, and I can't even read the next word, but we blame it on Carol,
Yes.
who told us to say this.
Yes.
Back to school fashion
Yeah.
preview. All right, tell us when this happens and what this is.
So this is a really fun evening, and our community center staff puts this on, and it's in cooperation with the shops at Arbor Lakes. And so a lot of the businesses there, clothing stores, provide clothes for a fashion show, kind of a back-to-school fashion
Sure.
show, and they get youth from the community to participate in that, to get out and model the new trends for
Very
this
good.
fall season. So it's a really fun event. If you have I think you have to be 12 to participate. I think the age range goes like 12 to 18.
Okay.
So if you have children that would be interested in participating, you can contact.
As a model, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's right. And they get to wear the clothes. They don't get to keep them,
Uh-oh.
but they get to wear them, and they get their picture taken. And
Very nice.
it's really a fun. They get a little goodie bag. It's a fun evening, and they are looking for models for both shows. So you can give a call over to the community center and get involved with that. It's Thursday, August 17th, and it's Wednesday, August 16th is the teen one, back to school, and then on Thursday, August 17th is Fashion Flair, which is more focused on the senior
Got it.
community.
Right.
So
Okay.
these are both really fun events to get involved with.
And we'll have more time to talk about that
Yep.
before it comes. So, but mark those dates down. It is a fun time during the year. So again, that's a little recap of what's new around town and some of the things that are coming up. And again, if you're watching this in one of the early recordings or playbacks, you want to take advantage of Maple Grove Days.
Yeah.
If you've missed it, hopefully next year, and look for this
Yep.
around town.
So this little booklet, it's actually kind of a magazine, actually. Lots of great sponsors in here and information about Maple Grove Days. So these are available at the Government Center, front desk of the Government Center, Community Center. You can wander in and get one of these, and it kind of gives you all of the details about all the events associated with Maple Grove Days.
Excellent.
Yep.
While we have a few minutes, we want to talk about a few things that are coming up. The next council meeting comes up in the middle of July, but we've got a couple items that will be coming up in August we want to give a little preview to. First is, I can't believe we're saying this as well, the city budget. It's
Yep.
already time to start thinking about budgets. Tell us about the process now of what happens in July.
Yeah, so, starting in August here, we're still working internally, getting that budget ready
Yep.
to present to the city council. So all of the department directors submit their budget requests in, and then between finance and myself, we work through that and kind of sort through what's important for 2018 and bring forward a recommended budget to the city council. The first time the council will see the budget is on August 7th at a workshop, part of the city council meeting. We may come back on August 21, depending if we need a little bit more time on that budget process. But pretty straightforward budget this year. You know, no real significant changes to the program. We run a pretty kind of a straight line budget, I guess, if you will, and so I think there shouldn't be any surprises this year, but certainly kind of take in a comb through it and see if there's ways that we can trim up some things, be a little bit more efficient, that kind of thing. So budget process will kick off here, so that's August, and then by September, in September we have to set the preliminary levy. So that is something that needs to go to Hennepin County, and then that preliminary levy gets set, and then property tax notices go out about that after following that process. Okay. And then we don't adopt a final budget till December. So we have a bit of time then between that preliminary. We go through October, November, where we can be still working on the budget and tweaking those things and talking about new positions, that kind of thing. But yeah, budget is almost a year-long process now, because we start internally, you know, kind of in the April-May timeframe.
Yeah, hard to believe. Yep. Let's talk a little bit about external factors. You talked a little bit about staff obviously talking. How about external? Is there anything that has happened this year or you see happening that might affect the city's budget, or what people look at their tax bill in general? Yeah,
no, I don't think so. I mean, we didn't have anything from a legislative perspective necessarily that impacted us. There weren't levy limits put in place, that kind of thing. So I don't think there's anything unanticipated, you know, any surprises that we're expecting. I think we'll be in a pretty good place this year with the budget.
Very good. Yep. All right, let's move ahead to another topic that we've talked about a couple times, that in August there may be some things coming up about this, and this is the gravel mining area and the TIF district. So again, for those that don't know, tell us a little bit of TIF, what that is, and what is the plan here? What will be unveiling itself here as we go through the late fall into the, or late summer into fall?
Yeah, so the city received some amendments to some special legislation for the gravel mining area tax increment financing district. So what tax increment financing does is it basically provides the city an economic development tool to sort of capture that new value that's created by development and help pay for either infrastructure. There's qualified costs associated with the development that TIF can be used for tax increment financing. So basically it's the taxes generated to the city county school district from that new value that's created by the development. Part of the gravel mining area TIF district was, it's a soils deficiency district, so it kind of deals with the fact that this is a gravel mining area, and in some areas the land is deficient in terms of whether it's its soil or how the land is left in terms of, you know, needing additional grading or work, that kind of thing, or sometimes cleanup, that kind of thing. So this really gives the city another tool to do economic development projects out there in the gravel mining area. So in August, we'll be coming forward to establish the project area for the gravel mining area tax increment financing district, and then we also will be putting together a TIF plan, and then as projects come forward that are involved with getting tax increment, we will be bringing forward each one of those individually and considering any contribution that might come from that tax increment financing. We also, within that, have some additional pooling authority. So basically what that means is the increment that might be generated from a project can be pooled within the area to use for other improvements, not necessarily related to that particular project. So for instance, the 169 Elm Creek Boulevard interchange, that's a project that's on our radar, and now as we start to see more development likely to occur east of Lowe's, south of Elm Creek Boulevard, we know that it'll be important to start thinking about that interchange improvement, and the tax increment financing district is a tool that we can use to help pay for that interchange. We'll be pursuing other, you know, state dollars on that improvement as well. But it's nice to have this tool there that development can pay for a bit of those improvements. So kind of exciting to get this put into place and get the tax bill done and approved, and start to put some tools in place so that hopefully over the next 8-9 years, we'll see a good amount of development out there, and this can help make that happen.
Very good. We'll keep giving you updates as time marches on, and that process happens in August and September. Final note related to the gravel mines area, there was a loss of someone whose name is attached to that area quite a bit, and that's Charlie McCrossin. Tell us a little bit about Charlie and what he meant to the city and their company.
Yeah, so Charlie McCrossin passed away at the end of June at the age of 91. Charlie had a long, rich history here in Maple Grove. I never had the opportunity to meet him. I've gotten to meet his children, but I know his relationship with Al Madsen and with the mayor and other members of the council was significant. I think the family, the McCrossin family, certainly was part of that great relationship between the city and the McCrossin family and the Sauer family in terms of how development has occurred in Maple Grove.
Right.
And so we certainly send our sympathy out to the McCrossin family and a great appreciation for the work that was done over the years.
Yes.
His obituary was in the Star Tribune over the weekend. It's a wonderful story to read of how he started the business and the history of his life, served in the military for a number of years, and so it's a pretty rich story to him and his family, and so much appreciation on behalf of the city and the history there, and so we just honor him as he's passed away from this life and is moving on to the next. So
excellent.
Yeah, sympathy to the McCrossin
Legacy
family.
that will certainly live on in the city.
Yes.
That name will be known forever here.
Yes.
Heidi, thank you very much for the information here. We again had no council meeting to touch on this time, but there you go, 25 minutes of just information happening around town. There's always something going on. There will be a meeting in July. That is on July 17th. It's a Monday. We've mentioned the website quite a few times throughout the program, maplegrovemn.gov. You see the phone number at the bottom of the screen. And again, if you have any questions or comments, 763-533-1710 is our viewer response line. And again, keep your eyes out for this around town. This is the way to find out what's happening with Maple Grove Days, 12th through the 16th. A lot of fun going on if you're watching this again early. Heidi, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Maple Grove City Report.